What a weekend. I just don't know where to start. Grade 1 action at Sandown, Scottish Trials Day at Musselburgh, or the Dublin Racing Festival. Frankie is going. What a weekend, mate. You looking forward to it?
I'm buzzing. I can't wait. This is one of my favourites in the calendar. It's one that just you lie up in bed thinking about and waiting to get over to Ireland because everyone there absolutely loves this weekend. There's a real buzz about the place. There's the rugby on as well after. The whole city comes alive. And Grade 1 action, all the Willie Mullins stars are out. We just got to find the right one.
They are, yes. Willies are out, aren't they, Joel?
The Willies are out. I got up yesterday morning and my missus was like, what are you so happy about? It's like a DRF, isn't it? Honestly, I love the DRF. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago where all the hot pots came
every year?
Everyone was flying. Everyone was printing money, getting that Cheltenham bank ready. And I think last year, was it last year that Danny Mullins rode all the third strings or second strings or whatever, and he was cleaning up.
He's the winner of the first race the last 3 years, I think, and the winner of the winner of the first two races, I think the last 2 years. He's a good jock to follow, but he's on a couple of massive outsiders this time around.
He is. He's got an interesting one as well. We'll talk about DRF a little later on. We're going to get stuck into the domestic action. We're going to start at Sandown. There's a Grade 1 there a little later on. We start at 2 o'clock. 2-mile handicap chase. Dan Skelton's got one, obviously going for this big prize with Harry on board. He's got Etalon. Marta Tour looking to get back to winning ways. I'll start with you, Joel. What wins at 2 o'clock?
Etalon, without being boring, 9-4 currently. Needs soft ground, unseated last time at Windsor. If you look back at a couple of runs, it's so Dan Skelton-esque. The Cheltenham run on 14th of December. Even the Racing Post said, never dangerous. It was just stuck out the back, knitting a jumper. And then it was tailed off at Newbury at the end of November. Before that, he led that day and then just weakened and the arms were coming out and whatever. You look at that form and you go, should he be a 9-4, 2-1 shot? Not really. But it's Saturday. It's Skelton's. There's 500 grand and he needs those points because Sam Twiston-Davis is right up his bum.
Yeah, he is. It's an interesting little rhetoric that's going to run and run to the end of the campaign. Frankie, what wins at 2 o'clock?
Could Etalon be this year's unexpected party en route to the festival and a grand annual bid? He's around the right mark, 135. If he won this and didn't go up too many pounds, he'd be well in the mix for a Cheltenham Festival handicap, I think. I do think he wins, and I do think it is that 500 grand that makes it interesting because go and pick up the points if you can. Even if Cheltenham was the main goal, you'd risk getting put up a few and winning this en route. And I think that will be their plan. If I was going to try and oppose him, it would probably be with Solo, which a lot of people are fed up of backing him. But you look at his form back down to 2 miles, and he is back down to just £1 higher than when he last won. There is enough there for me to suggest he could run a big race. If he was, the dog doesn't think so. If he was maybe slightly bigger in the market or you had a few more runners in the field, he might be a nice each way play into it. But Etalon just looks well handicapped. The Skeltons know what they're doing with these sorts of races.
Okay, unanimous. Etalon then. Right, the Scilly Isles, no Impere Pass in this Grade 1 at 235. Only 4 go to post. I'll start with you this time, Frankie.
Yeah, 4 going to post is a shame, and it's kind of cornered me into having that horrible opinion of Django Bay as the most likely winner. But I don't think Handstands has been given the justice he deserves with his price. But I said it's a shame it's 4 runners. He could be 100-1. If he doesn't win, it doesn't matter, does it? So Django Bay is probably the most likely winner. The thought of him bounding up the Cheltenham Hill last time is front of mind for me. But Handstand has won at the track before. He did win at Foss last, and he was never going to put lengths and lengths between himself and second because it was really testing ground. It was that weekend when it was the only meeting that was on. And he has beaten Django Bay over hurdles, albeit when Hendos maybe weren't at their peak. So I think they should be closer, but like Django Bay is too short for me to go mad with, and Handstands is probably still not going to win. I just think he should be close together, is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's one view of the race. Joel, do you agree?
No, I don't actually. First of all, I was gutted for Ben Pauling, jukebox man, out for the season, and Harry Redknapp got that long odds odd shot turned over at the weekend, and he looked like he'd had a few quid on the lad. Handstands beat Django Bay over hurdles, but was getting £5. I'm going to take look, Khalif de Burley. I'm going to take a risk on Khalif de Burley for Nichols. Should have won the last 3. the graduation chase at Carlisle, it was 4-11 and took a heavy fall there. Last price sort of really impressed me. You know, look, the factors in that price are Paul Nicholls, the flu jab, the gallops have been washed away. But I really do think that Cheltenham de Burley, if Nicholls was in form and all the flu jabs and everything, they should be close together. I know you said about handstands. You know, we put a line through Mark of Gold, but Cheltenham de Burley at the price, it's a fiver stake. It's not. You're not going in there with your truck. But no, Cheltenham de Burley for me. 7-2.
It's a good race, isn't it? I said it's a shame it's 4 runners, but it is a cracking little race with 3 of them.
I agree with Joel. I think he's a bet. Not a case of a 5. I really fancy him.
Really?
Yeah. He's best in at the weights. He gets £4. He jumped so well at Carlisle until he didn't. But Jerry did jump really well. All right, he scraped home next time, but he was so good at Cheltenham. Beat Vicenzo, who's come out and won subsequently. He got a big hike for that. But I really like it. And obviously, we had the sad news as well recently, the passing of John Hales. And racing just has a habit, doesn't it, of throwing up excellent stories, and it'll be emotional. And obviously, he is a part owner of this. So, before all that, I just thought he had a massive chance, and he'll handle the ground. I think it's going to be quite attritional, the rain that they've had, and it'll be drying, so it'll be sticky. And we know he handles it. The other two, do they really want a slog? I really fancy him. I think he's got a huge chance here.
It would be great, wouldn't it, for John Hales' family and for Nicholls. He's obviously been a big part of Nicholls' yard, and Nicholls hasn't had the best season. If a winner in those colours would be good this weekend, it'd be great.
It would, yeah. And he's had a Grade 1 winner since 50 weeks, Pic de Ré at Ascot back in the middle of February. So, yeah, he deserves to turn the tide, or he should be turning the tide, which takes me to the next, a 307, Henri II for Paul Nicholls, who almost runs exclusively at Sandown, Joel.
Yeah, it does. I've just had a look. So my mate's got, I think I mentioned before, and it's a horse I put up for earlier this year, Major Fortune, sitting here. It's not a plug, by the way, because he wants a calendar in February tomorrow. But I've got me Noel Feely Racing Syndicate calendar that I got sent. However, it doesn't feature Major Fortune. I think Major Fortune will be seeing where we are this weekend. He's also another one that suffered from ulcers, so he's had a little time off. So I think we'll see where we are. But I think there's one in here that I found, and you probably know better than me for this, Matt. Red Dirt Road for John Joe and AJ at around 10-1. Trying 3 miles for the first time in here. Won by 4 lengths at Aintree last month, and they were pulled in for the improvement in form, and it just said the brake, not the brake had come off, but the brake that had. There wasn't like stupid money for it or anything like that. So I really liked this after that run last time, and a double figure price. But of course, speaking of handbrakes, Charles Burns has got one in here. Now, it always used to be if they drift, they don't win. But over the past few months, he's had, including this horse, has drifted and won. Was it Haydock? Was it maybe Haydock? It drifted and won. So I don't know where we are. So I'll keep an eye on Shoot First. But I think I may have one in Red Dirt Road.
Yeah, they've always liked him, and they won the race last year as well. And he did it nice, Aintree, and he's worth the step up. So no, he has got a heck of a chance. Frankie?
I think I've landed on Deep Cave. I will throw a big outsider into the frame as well. I was watching back the Cheltenham race where What a Johnny, who's in this, came third, about 3 or 4 lengths ahead of Deep Cave in 4th. We haven't seen What a Johnny since. Deep Cave we did see at Windsor. He was 4th, but only by a couple of lengths, and he did have to do a fair amount of the hard work on the front once they turned for home. And Christians are just starting to come into form. He was a big price that day, which I think probably, and at Cheltenham, maybe suggests they weren't expecting such a big run. This time he has had a little bit of market support and he's coming off the back of a good run, and Christians are all starting to turn into good form, and he hasn't been put up in the handicap. So I think there's a big run in Deep Cave. The rogue one, which I'd throw into the mix, is the 11-year-old Flight Deck, who has Ellis Collier on board taking off 5. He actually did a fair bit of work with Christian when he was getting up and running. He's getting older. He's been tailed off in enough grade 1s and grade 2s, but he did run okay at Newbury in the race that Strong Leader won, and Langadam was doing his own thing out the back. He ran all right in that, and look, he's down to a mark of 132. At his peak, he was 144. I'm not suggesting he's the force of old, but with a £5 claim run, he does still try in his races. I don't think he's completely gone at the game, and I'd say he's a big price to maybe get in the frame.
Cool. Okay, Frankie landed on Deep Cave. Not for the first time, I am sure. Right, 342. It is the Masters. I've got one in here as well that I quite like. Well, do me last, Frankie.
I was going to hope you went first because I actually don't love anything in this race. My selection comes with Gustavian, who was second to Fortunate Man last time, who did actually get beat the next time out, but he did go off favourite again, and they went a fair way clear in that race, and these two went a fair way clear at Aintree, 11 lengths clear. I think there's a bit of room in his mark. I think he's better than what he is, and having finished second last time out, hopefully he's back on that incline rise. So I don't love it. Maybe I might be about to if he's your one you found, but Gustavian with Sammy Twiston on board, picking up those points in the Jockey's Cup, I quite like.
Okay, Gustavian then. He has got a big one in him, hasn't he? He's just, I think it's won as many as he should, a horse of his ability. Joel, where's your money?
Well, I'm going in on Lucky 31 this weekend, and I couldn't, and the last leg would have been this. Can you imagine the first, you know where I'm going with it? The first 4 legs of one or whatever, and you're waiting on the best horse in this race, indoor, and I couldn't do it to myself. And I'm also going to be at Blackpool versus Charlton, so I'll be watching it on my phone just before half time. And you've got David Maxwell. We can use everything. You can talk about him, have a laugh about him. Great for the game, not great for the game, whatever. The best horse in the race by a mile, I think, is indoor. But I don't think 3-1 is factored in the price, right? I really don't. So one that's been money for this week, and there's a lot of pace on in the race, and I really like this race, to be fair, was O'Connell. I think Gorgeous Gavin going to sit out. He's not so gorgeous anymore. He's going to be haggard, the lad. But Gorgeous Gavin is going to sit out the back, pick up the pieces. David Maxwell, he's going to look like Nicola Boinville, right? At the last, and Gav's just going to come and take him there. There's been a lot of money this week for the horse. It was double field price earlier this week, so I'm going to go for O'Connell against indoor. But if indoor wins, I'm really pleased. But I cannot sit on the last leg of an ACCA at a Lucky 31 with David Maxwell.
Gavin rode a nice winner for the same owners, didn't he? Teresita the other day at Ascot. It's funny, isn't it? Since his ride in the Cheltenham, was it the December Gold Cup last year when he came from however many lengths back, he's kind of been known for his hold-up rides ever since then, hasn't he? But he does do a great job of them, to be fair. You would want him.
Yeah, he does.
Ride. And Hewick, obviously, as well, in the King George. I suppose he's had a couple of big ones where he's done that. But he is good in reeling them back in.
I always looking in races now like this, and they become fashionable and unfashionable, and they're probably mid-table sort of jocks. But if you're looking at a race and you're at a race meeting, I always think, right, David Bass, you know what he does, and you know what Gavin does. So I like that, and they perfect that really well. So I thought at around 6-1, I thought it'd be a little bit bigger, but O'Connell. But I would be really happy for indoor if Maxwell won.
Firstly, why are you a Blackpool Charlton?
Because I've been working for Betfred for 5 years, and they've got sponsorship with Man United, my team, and I've never been offered hospitality there. And hospitality at Blackpool versus £15.
Secondly, that's the one that I really like. O'Connell, I really do like him. He beat Fortunate Man, didn't he, at Carlisle, who's gone on and won since, and probably should have gone close at Windsor to winning a decent prize as well. Then he won the Lincolnshire National when he was getting the better of the argument. The favourite came down. He's only run 15 times as a 9-year-old. He'll handle conditions, that is for sure. He'll stay a little bit further. So Sue Smith, Joel Parkinson, they're having a much better time of it now than they were at the beginning of the season. You mentioned Gavin Sheehan riding for the owners in Terrace, he actually won on this fella when he won at Carlisle as well. So I think he ticks so many boxes in a race where so many have got questions to answer. Eden de Hooge, Shan Bluve and Gustavian. The two solid ones at the front of the market. And yeah, I totally agree. I think O'Connell, he's one of the bets of the day for me. Well, that's Sandown covered. Let's rattle through Musselburgh. We've got a Triumphal trial at 142, but is it in name only, isn't it, Joel?
Yes.
I think that's being fairly optimistic, polite. You know, it'd be like me and you, Matt, going for Cheshire's most eligible bachelor. Lucas Tipple in this, right, was 11 lengths behind, and everyone's going to mangle this horse this weekend. San Lucie, right, or whatever, or St. Lucie. Got a rating here, but 122 was what, a length and a half behind Pure Steels or JP's only a couple of weeks ago in a race that I'm really, really not asked about. I've tried to get involved with every race this weekend. But this was the one at around 7-1. There wasn't anything in here that and I wouldn't put one into me multiples this weekend. But I thought at the prices, at the value, that was the one. That was the one for me. But I'll shut up to what now to say.
Yeah, cool. That's great. Yeah, brilliant. Well done. Lucas Tipple, the Irish Raider, Frankie.
Same.
That'll do. Right, let's move on.
No one cares about that race today. No, yeah, I agree. Same. best behind St. Lucie and 8 lengths clear with a odds-on favourite of JP's for Jimmy Mangan. What's not
okay? 217, the Scottish County hurdle. Is it going to be a good weekend for Paul Nicholls? We like after Burley. Henry II looks to have a good chance, and Afadil won this race last year, £4 higher, Frankie.
I know. I do have that feeling that the tide has to turn for the Nicholls yard at some point. He's a brilliant trainer. He's champion trainer. What is it, 9 times? I don't know. You can't write him off. His horses will come back into form, and plenty of them will be ready to win. Afadil is an obvious starting point, and definitely could go and do it. I quite like the look of Maglac for Adrian Keeley, who's in a good bit of form. Third last time at Ayr, but before that strung together a nice double and has only gone up a pound in the weights. I think could string together a good set of runs for a trainer in form and maybe just keep improving. So that'd be the each way play at about 7s, 8s. But yeah, Afadil is your right favourite. I think it's not a bad place to start.
Yeah, he's been odds on winning Maglap, but he's after a bit of a busy spell. He's had a small break. Joel?
I think this is nap of the month material for me. I think this will be the best bet of the month on the, we start February the 1st tomorrow. Afadil, like you say, won it last year off 124 and now 120. Done now since. Olive Nicholls rode last time. There were 2 jocks that went to the wrong side. It was the second to last race of the day at Southall. It was a bog. It looked like Sam Twiston-Davis, who obviously is very brainy. He pulled up Norman Fletcher on that day, and Olive was over the wrong side as well with Afadil. Norman Fletcher was pulled up. Afadil was just plugging along. Olive's off. Freddie's on. I think this is absolute go and collect. 4-1 is available now. This will not be available tomorrow morning. 4-1. Forget all the Nicholls flu jabs and the whatevers and the Gallops being washed away. Afadil this weekend is a gift from the gods.
Yeah, it could be a very good weekend, couldn't it, for Paul Nicholls? Let's have a look at the Scottish Champion Chase at 250. Back to you, Joel.
Kaluki Kid, right favourite, too short, but it's drifting this morning. And there is money for Marble Sands. Nick Slatter takes a ride, who we put up Yellow Car last weekend at a double figure price. I have no idea how that horse kept the race, but doesn't matter. First past the post and to the winner's enclosure. I think 9 lengths behind Springwell Bay at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. And look, distant third to Forever Bamboo and Changing Man at Newcastle in the rehearsal chase. I thought it would have been a bit bigger, but Marble Sands, Nick Slatter did it on the big stage last weekend. Let's hope another one this weekend.
Okay, Marble Sands then. Yeah, looked good for me. Put up Yellow Car last week, didn't you? Frankie?
I'll give a squeak to last year's winner, Corrigan Rock, with Alan Dore taking £5 off. I actually quite like his ride in the race before as well, to be fair. I wouldn't be surprised if he does win one race for Lucinda Russell. They had a great weekend this weekend last year, and it could be his chance to put his name on the map a little bit, Alan Dore. So I hope Corrigan Rock runs well for him. He does run well at the track, and he's a fair price for a horse that, okay, is carrying a bit more weight than maybe he'd like to. But the claim you haven't got a claimer though.
Okay, then Corrigan Rock then for Frankie. Called out Afadil and Corrigan Rock winning the same races as last year. That'll be probably popular each way double. Right, we've waited long enough. Let's get stuck into it. There's 4 Grade 1s to look forward to on the Saturday of the Dublin Racing Festival. Willie Mullins got the first 4 in the market for the opening contest at 1:15. Frankie, you're going. Take us away.
Yes, I said if I was allowed another go at Monday's show, I would have had Mozzie's sister up as an anti-post bet for the festival in probably the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, because I think she's potentially underrated in this market. And obviously, if she runs well here, she could be a festival hope for Declan Coyley. She's finished 3rd behind the Yellow Clay, Joel's favourite horse, and 2nd behind the Big Westerner. I think a horse going places for Henry de Bromhead. She gets a little bit of weight. She is not one of Willie Mullins' hot pots, hence why maybe she's a bit bigger in the market than she might be. But as an each-way play in an opener that hasn't thrown up favourites the last couple of years, and there doesn't seem to be one that anyone is steaming into from the Mullins yard, I think you're getting value for money with Mozzie's sister. The potential star for me in the field is Final Demand, but after seeing him once, is that enough to back him at 7-4 in a race, as I said, that seems to sort itself out after the race, not before? So Mozzie's sister each way in the opener for me.
Okay, Joel?
Mullins wins this race, but not the favourite. I'm going with Super Sunday. 2nd to Yellow Clay at Nace. Paddy takes the ride. The Final Demand, like Frankie said, probably turn out to be the best horse in the race, but a lot of that is hype at the minute. I really like Super Sunday, and I really like Paddy Mullins, who is the 2nd best amateur to David Maxwell. So Super Sunday in the first at around Leopardstown.
Okay, Super Sunday there. Let's look at the juvenile, spring juvenile hurdle, which obviously could have a bit of a reaction on the Triumph hurdle market. Again, Willie Mullins got a strong hand. We've got this unbeaten Hello Neighbour, 2 on the flat, 1 over hurdles. I'll start with you this time, Joel.
Yeah, I'd really like Hello Neighbour to win this. Beat Lady Vega Alam by a short head. This is one of the really hard ones of the weekend. Mostly, you've got a short price favourite, and you're looking for value. It's either a lay or a play, isn't it? Especially on Sunday, when you look at it, it's like, do you like Madrid? Do you like whatever? Do you like Gaelic Warrior? Whatever. This, I think obviously the market's got it completely right with the top 3 in the market. It really is a non-bet race for me whatsoever. But I think with Gavin Cromwell, what's his stable form like? He was. I mean, it's not great, but it's not gross, is it? Is it? He's not flying.
No, but it's not.
Hello Neighbour. I just thought Hello Neighbour to make it a little bit more exciting for the Cheltenham market. That'd be the one for me. But I think it really is one to watch. And I'm sorry that I'm not going massively in this, but I really couldn't split them, and there's no value in the outsiders.
5 winners from his last 45 saddle, the last 49. Not too bad, not too shabby. Okay. No. Hello Neighbour. Frankie?
It's tricky, this, isn't it? The fog didn't really help us work out who's the best juvenile in Ireland, and that's a hard enough job as it is. Hello Neighbour was 1st, Lady Vega was 2nd, and Sunny Bill was 3rd last time out, but we saw them up the run in, and that's about it. It's trying to decipher Willie Mullins' comments for me. He was very impressed with Son Lucy. But I've always thought that Hello Neighbour was held in high regard from Gavin Cromwell. And Lady Vega Allen, although we couldn't see much of it, from the Racing Post comments, had to make up a fair bit of ground and almost went and beat Hello Neighbour. So they're hard to split. I know that Lady Vega Allen wasn't fancy pre-race, but did run a good race. And at 4s, I'm going to I'm going to take a chance. Wouldn't be a good morning for Paul Townend if I'm right. But yeah, Lady Vega Allen for me was close to Hello Neighbour and is a much better price and could close the gap.
Okay, right. Let's look at the.
Matthew?
Yes.
Yeah, I know we're probably not going to cover it, but can we just have a quick line on the race and stay at Leopardstown handicap hurdle, the 225, where Meeting of the Waters is 9-4, and Willie Mullins has booked Rachel Blackmore. The hurdle mark seems quite attractive. What do we all think about this in the JP McManus colours?
It kills the race, doesn't it? What do you do? What do you do? Do you know what my opinion was, though? Percival Legalois is also £18 better off, and I think was a better hurdler. I don't think it's a penalty kick for Meeting of the Waters by any means.
I'll be back in Supreme Gift anyway. Henry Daly's booked Danny Mullins.
There we are.
Massive
price.
Each way, that'll do me. Yeah, but it is interesting. Meeting of the Waters. I think he'd go for a lot bigger than that, I would imagine. Majbra versus Elan T. Could Majbra have too much toe for him around here, Frankie?
I think so. This is frustratingly short, in my opinion. Maybe bookmakers have got PTSD from last year and they've been cautious on letting anything go off that close to evens. I do think Majbra is the likely winner, and mostly for the comments that were, or the kind of joke that was made by Paul Townend and Ruby Walsh, saying Mark Walsh would never let a horse in a beginner's chase go that far clear of second, and they reckon he just asked Majbra to kick on a touch over the last, and he went whoosh, see you later. So if there's that much under the bonnet and there's that much speed, I think it'd be hard to stop. Yeah, I'd love him to win and make the Arkle a real contest and give us something to talk about besides just Sagino on the run up to the festival. So hopefully he puts in a big performance. Yeah,
that's the kind of way that I'm leaning as well, Joel.
No, I'm going for one of the Spursy horses. I know Spurs won 3-0 last night, but Il Atlantique, it's beaten Firefox, obviously, made all that day. I think this is the big day for Il Atlantique, right? This is it. We'll do now at the festival. Majbra probably don't have too much speed, as you're saying, but I think Il Atlantique will just try and make all and try and get Majbra at it. Again, if it's a lay or a play in this race, Majbra is a lay for me. And I just take the value, 130, Il Atlantique.
Okay, right, the big one. Gallopin Des Champs versus Factor File. Take 3. It's 1 apiece. Who takes a 2-1 lead, Frankie?
It's got to be Gallopin Des Champs, hasn't it? The way that he pulled clear over the last time, I don't think you can make up a 7-length, was it, deficit between the two of them. He's so good at the track. If you watch him back winning any of his races, or even in this race last year, he always hits the line so strongly here. And I don't know whether that's because other horses get tired on that little climb they've got before turning for home, or there's just something about the running that he loves. But he almost picks up another gear every time on the running at Leopardstown. And I just can't see Factor File or any horse closing that gap if they're all in contention jumping the last. I think he's so good here. And yeah, this books his ticket to his 3rd Gold Cup.
He is. He's fantastic around Leopardstown, Joel. Can you see him being beat?
No, I can't, to be honest, but I think they'll try and spoil it with, I know the way you're thinking. I think that'll go off at a million miles in front. Of course, there's no team tactics in racing. So he'll go off a million miles in front, try and get Gallopin Des Champs at it. But as we know, just looks better and better throughout the race. And then I think Factor File will go, right, I can't do out here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the Ryanair. And I was trying to get a forecast up, and I think it will be Gallopin Des Champs, obviously. And I think I'll probably go for Embassy Gardens to finish second in a little forecast. Monty Star. All the Irish were shouting months and months before last year's Gold Cup about Monty Star back to big prices. And Monty Star beaten by Embassy Gardens on the last year by 5 lengths. So I think that's what I'd go for. I think I know the way you're thinking. I think that'll be sacrificed on the day. And I'll just take Factor File out of it. Won't be knocked about if it can't get any closer. And I think they'll go, right, lads, Ryanair for us.
I know that the Gold Cup and the Irish Arkle are both very competitive races, but I do think if Majbra and Gallopin Des Champs go in, it'll be roaring on track. They're both very popular horses, aren't they? Horses that everyone is willing to win for for Cheltenham Festival reasons as well as for DRF reasons.
Certainly is. Right, before we do best bet, I just want a quick run through Sundays. The decks have just come in. Ballyburn taking on Better Days Ahead, Champ Carly, Croke Park, Imperi Pass. What a race that. Obviously, both of a more suitable trip. Do you expect to see the real Ballyburn this weekend? I
think so. I don't know if he's a play at 4 to 7 this weekend, but you might want to back him for the festival if you think he is going to run well. They haven't lost any faith, have they? He's just a bit of a slow jumper, but that doesn't matter back up to a more staying trip. So, yeah, it'd be good if he gets back on track as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly will be. And then Gaelic Warrior, Joel, your horse is in the Dublin chase. I mean,
he's going to get beat, Joel. He's not winning this weekend.
I absolutely agree with you.
Do you?
I 100% agree with you. Yeah. The Joseph O'Brien horse last time, it was in the fog and everything like that. There wasn't really any excuses. I don't think there's any jiggery pokery or anything. I've seen nothing this season that's made me go, ooh, all right. He's going to absolutely hack up at Cheltenham. There's no problem whatsoever. And he'll be jumping in the bars and jumping over there and whatever. He'll hack up at Cheltenham, but he can go and win this weekend. An odds-on shot, I'm not. I love the horse. I love the horse, but not this weekend for me. But who beats Gaelic Warrior is the question, and I can't work it out, Frankie.
Afadil. Don't care if it's his first time back from a break. Don't think Marine National's all that. Gaelic Warrior is a tricky customer, and he's 8 to 1. He's a great bet.
Okay. And then the Irish champion, it's just a match, isn't it? Is State Man gone, or can he overturn Lossymouth?
It's really hard to figure out that, isn't it? Recent form.
Well, it's not now.
Why's that? Paul Townend's dropped up.
Paul Townend's dropped up. On State Man.
Yeah, I thought that would be. He has to, doesn't he? He's been a loyal servant to him, as are the Donnellys, or a supporter would probably be the better word for. And he's won the race. You have to stick with the horse until otherwise. I know he was beat last time, but they didn't feel like he was on a going day. I think he had to. I don't think that surprises me.
Are you with him then, or did you take in Lossymouth to beat him?
I think Lossymouth can beat him.
Joel?
I do as well, but I will take State Man. I genuinely will take State Man, and I'm hoping it will shorten because we're on a double figures for the first 3 in the champion hurdle.
He's a nice price, isn't he? For however many races he's won.
7 to 4. And, Daddy Longlegs is in there, and I think I put him up about 20 years ago and thought he was going to be the next come in. I don't know, you're going to get to ride that. There's no else in the races, let's be honest. Winter fog, the only excitement you get as a commentator. Winter fog. That's about as exciting as you get about winter fog. Daddy Longlegs is no good. 2-horse race. I think it'll be, I hate to say it because I love to have a bet. And I'm not talking about being gamble responsibly and all that. I'm just saying it's probably a brilliant horse race to watch. And you don't have to have a bet in it.
Matt, who's the horse that Danny Mullins is riding that you fancy?
Supreme Gift. I just think.
Yeah.
On Saturday, yeah. What's your best bet time then?
Am I allowed Alfabiolo on Sunday?
Yeah, go on then.
I'll take that. I just think I hope he'll run in the frame, but I reckon he might win. I reckon he might surprise everyone and have a real crack.
Okay. Joel, best bet?
Afadil, 217, Musselburgh, around 4 to 1. It won't be 4 to 1 on the day. If you want to get that, get it now from wherever you can get it. Afadil for Nichols and Freddie. Go.
And I'll do O'Connell in the Masters at 3:42. So there you are. There's hopefully your Trixie for the weekend. Brilliant weekend of racing. Cannot wait for it. What you must do is enjoy it and then join us next week on Monday, because we're going to get right down and deep into the road to Cheltenham, into what's happened at the Dublin Racing Festival and at Sandown with the Silly Owls as well. But certainly what happens over these great 2 days at Leopardstown. Frankie's going to be there, so we'll have loads of insight for what's happened on track. I'll get mine and thoughts, Joel's as well. So that's Road to Cheltenham on Monday. Join us for that. But whatever you're doing this weekend, enjoy the action and the very best of luck.